Well, when I look at that, I use this stuff quite often. Some of this stuff I'm in at least, all the time. So I'm back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, so I've been doing some organization in the shop, and I'm thinking, you know what? Let me try and clean up all my sanders. And whenever I get in here and I start messing with this, I'm thinking, wow, I'm knocking something off or whatever. So I'm going to take my sanders out, figure out what kind of storage it is, measure between the bottom of this rack here and the top of this so that it'll slide in. And I'm going to make a little box that'll fit some of that stuff right there. So let's just see what we got. Maybe we can use up some of the space that's wasted, because when I pull that stuff out of there, it's just it's a conglomeration of a mess. So let's just get that out and have a look at it. All right, I'm going to make a box that'll house this, and this. And it's going to be a 14 by 14 by 20 inches long. And that'll allow these to go in front to back. I'll put my most common ones in there. Or slice or whatever. And I could probably get more of them in like that. But storage wise, so 14 by 20, 7 inches wide, 7 inches tall. So that will store that, and then the grinder, I'll take the handle off and the grinder will fit back in there. And so that will work that way. And that'll get rid of some of that clutter, and it'll still leave me some room over here on the side there, 14 by 14. And then maybe I can build another box that'll house some of that up in there. So we'll see what we got going on here. And got my box over there. Since the jigsaw lock on the side of it, I can just lock them into place there. I still got storage inside that box box right there. But anyway, so that makes fast and easy storage and hanging out there. So that worked out good. All right, I'm going to start a new project, and then we're going to create a sanding box. I'm just going to set my material to 96 inches high, just so that I have plenty of room to start with. And datum's on the left-hand corner, material surface, and high resolution will go there. Okay, we got a nice piece of sheet of plywood. My CNC is only 25 by 25, so we're going to use the tiling toolpath on this. But the first thing we're going to use is a gadget. I'm going to create a new box, and this box is going to be 14 inches wide by 14, and the depth of it is across there is 14, and then the height is 14, and the width is, let's try this again here, 14 and then 20 inches. And I'm glad that they have this designation in here, because a lot of times I don't get it right. I'm going to be making this out of some 1/4 inch plywood. I'm going to use allowance of 0.02, which gives me room for just popping the things together. I don't have to hammer or anything. Clamping margins 0.75. I'm going to create all edges of this thing. I'm going to be using an end mill, which is a 1/8 inch end mill. And I'm going to do a finger joint, which are square. And I'm going to go for a tab lib and show dovetail no. So Sharp Cut Up had modified this, remembers all these settings, so I know how many times to get back in and out of it, which I often do 2 or 3 times to modify. And just click OK, and it created all these boxes. And nice thing about it, with his modifications, it doesn't air out, it just puts them in there. So first thing I've got here is a cool box, and the only thing is I only have a 25 inch CNC. So I'm going to go right over here to the tile tool pass. I'm going to come up with my tiles. I'm going to set them for a tile height of 24 inches. And you'll see I only have 1 tile over here. So I'm going to update tiles. Now I have 4 tiles in here. Okay. As I've said many times before, you can't cut a box joint across 2 different pieces of wood on your CNC. It just, it's just, yeah. Anyway, and I also was looking at my box joints. I've got these down for really fine, lots of cutting. I probably don't need to go that, so I'm just going to go back real quick. So we're going to hide the toolpath measurement. I'm just going to go all the way over there and select all of them again, delete them, and got them all. I'm going to go over here and remove the toolpath, hit that, so I've got that blank sheet back in here. Let's go over here to the gadgets, and go back out down here. I missed one of my settings on my joint width. I only have it at 0.5. I don't need that. I'm just going to go with a 1-inch box joint. So it remembered all the other settings. Everything else is memorized, and that's a blessing. Thank you, Shortcut. Okay, so it's created that, and my box joints are 1 inch, and so we're good to go. So let's go back over here to the tiling toolpath, lay it out like here, set my tile toolpath for 24 inches, update the tiles, and we got 4 of them in here. Okay, so again, trying to get these to cut across the tile. This one would cut fine, this one would cut fine, this one would cut fine, and that one probably, well, it wouldn't cut fine because it's across the toolpath. But anyway, all these that are not across toolpaths, that are getting cut in a wrong formation, it's going to like that. Also, if you look on here, I'm not going to be able to cut all these on here on the same. And my sides are going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have tops and bottoms and fronts and backs, and they're going to be different. So for right now, I'm going to get rid of the extra copies because the sides will mirror each other. So let me tell you what I'm doing here. So this is the bottom. And let me get up here to the top here. And this is the bottom. Those are the same. So I'm going to get rid of that one. And let me get over here, get rid of that one, and just delete it. Okay. And then get rid of that one and delete it. Shortcut will put these on layers for the cutout box. The layer one's no longer being used. You have the box, and then you have your cutout. So your 2 toolpaths. So I'm going to get rid of that one. And then these 2 are the same. Right here, I'm going to get rid of this one right here. Hit delete and got rid of those. And then these 2 right here are the same. And I'm going to get rid of this right here. So we got that taken care of. And then I'm just to make that thing simple, I'm going to recalculate my toolpaths. We'll just pin that up there and just recalculate. And you can right click, recalculate, and it'll just do this one and recalculate them. So now we got all the stuff off of the box. And I can just cut these 3 pieces twice, and I got a perfect box set up. But right now, with the tile toolpaths that they are, this won't set up right. So I'm going to grab this box, and you drag from the lower left. It grabs both toolpaths and put it right in there. And we're going to grab these 2 right here. I'm just using arrow keys, and I'm bringing them up. And we'll go back over here and recalculate the toolpaths. Where these were breaking across here, this is breaking across here. This is going to make sure these all come out good. And anyway, so this is where this is at. I could, for the sake of easiness, I could go in here and bring my sheet size down to 72 inches, but we won't worry about that because it's really not consequential for us, and it won't create toolpaths without anything on it. So we've got our 3 pieces, and they're there, and so that's good. So now we can start designing the inside pieces, and this one here is the bottom. That's the side, and then that's the end of it. So, and it doesn't hurt anything. It's going to hide our tooling path just to keep that. It doesn't hurt anything real quick to go over here and put in your bottom or top. And we're going to make that 1 inch tall just so you can see it. And we're going to move that over here, and we're going to put that over here to the right in there. We'll just put it off to the side. And this will be a side. And let's just make that a little bit bigger, just so we can see it. Drag it out a little bit, make that a little bit nicer. And then we're going to Control C, and we'll copy that, Control V, and there's another one sitting on top of it. I'm going to paste that there. And then Control C, Control V, and grab that one and put this up here to the top. We're just going to mark these so that it'll be nice and neat. Okay, so we'll go up here and we'll edit this one here, and that is the ends. This one right here is the sides. Okay. All right. now that we've got those identified, keep them kind of straight on that. Now we're going to put in some partitions that go into the center, across the top here into the center, and then put some tab points so that they're held in to the points and also to the end points. So we're going to need some dividers. So we're just going to make a new layer, and we're going to add a new layer. We're going to call it divider. We'll call them dividers, and we're just going to make that a different color. Let's just make it green. Okay, so we're going to make a divider that will fit in between this length and this length for that. So let's just go in for right now, and on the end the dividers will go in that. So that needs to be our width, and then only our lengths are going to be in there. So we got this one right here. And we're just going to look at the measurement here, see how big this is. And that measurement is 14.0805. I'm just going to copy that. Click close, and we're going to create a rectangle. And this one will be the same size. Control V or Control V, and put that in there, and Control V. Now, the height of it only needs to be 1/4 inch, 0.25. Okay, so that's the width, and that's going to create a new box down here at the bottom. We're going to tell it to center that piece right there into that piece right there. I'll hold the shift key, and we're going to hit the center and have it put it in the middle of the material. So there it is. It's going to the outside. Looks like it did a good job of getting the right tool path. Also, when you're doing these tool paths, this is the tool path there, and the box is actually right here. So, that's something that you need to keep in mind, that it's cutting on that edge right there. Okay, this is just the box itself. And over here on this side, we'll see where we're at here. And we're out to the outsides of that one as well. Okay, so there's that one, and then we need to take another one of these and rotate it. I like clicking off of it, and Control C, Control V, and then hit R for rotate. And then, whoops, I need to close that window out there. Hit R for rotate and click at 90. Hit enter, and it created one on the tops there. Okay, and we could do this a couple different ways. We could half slot this, or we could put these in as two individuals with we could put like a half lap in here that would put that, but it would it wouldn't be quite as good as putting tabs down through there. So either way, we'll just do it. I may just do the half lap just to see how that works out. Okay, so we got our two pieces there, and that's going to give us our tab layout for the end pieces. And we're going to grab both of these pieces here, Control C, Control V, and bring them out to here. And then we're going to put them over here, because these will also get tabs. Control C, oops. And we're going to move him over to here. And that will need to be centered on that one. So let's just see where we're at here. We'll select that, and we'll put the centering on that one. Okay, there's that one, and then this one. Okay, let's see if we can get back over there and see what happens here. Go back here and center it. Okay, so we're there, good. And then the bottom or top will be the same thing. Oops, let's grab them both. Control C, Control V, and then just move them down here. And we'll center that into this right here. And center. Okay. So we got our three or basically 6 sides. And we've also got our plates that we're going to be expanding out. So we've got that done. All right, close that window down. All right, now we need to make our divider. So we're going to just Control C, Control V, go up here, and we're going to call this dividers. And I'm going to modify that, and that'll say dividers. Okay, so there we go. All right, this whole time we've been working on this layer of dividers, and if we want to turn them off, they're all disappeared. So there they are there. So they're all in the same layer as we're working on that. And this one here is on the dividers. That one's on the dividers. That's on dividers. That's on the dividers. Let's go ahead and move them onto text. Add a new layer called text. And we're going to call that, make that color a blue one. And we're going to grab these 3 right here and move them to a layer called text. And there it is there. Okay, so they're good, and they're blue. And these boxes, so we're keeping our stuff together. All right, let's work on a divider. So we got this box right here, and that is the half lap of this. So I'm going to keep these, a copy of these. So let's just jump over there. Control C, Control V, and we're going to put this off to the side because I'll probably snap it again. I could grab it off one of the other sheets, but we're going to just put it right there. And put that on text. So let's delete that one. I'm going to right click on this and go down to select or activate layer selection. Okay, so now we're on dividers. You could also click up there and went to that, but that's an easy way to keep on your dividers going. Okay, so we're going to grab this thing again. Control C, Control V, and we're on the dividers. So I'm just going to throw that off to the side. Okay, and then we're going to make these half lap. Okay, so these boxes right here need to be, I think they're actually 14 by 14. No, yeah, 14 by 14. Okay, click close. And so I just need a square sheet 14 by 14 as far as divider goes. Okay, so we'll go over here and we're going to create a 14 by 14. And we're going to click that right here and click close. Okay, so that's our box here. We're going to center that in the project. Just, you know, in that direction there. Okay, click close. And then with this guy right here, we're going to center this one into the box. And we'll hit that right there. And then center that and put that right there. Okay. So we'll have 2 of these going on here, but we're going to create one because they will be mirror images of each other. And that way they'll work just fine. Okay. So what we can do is decide if we're going to use tabs on here and cut 4 individual blocks that will just snap in and they'll glue in, and maybe one piece that's down, or they just half lap. And the half lap is fine with me. It'll just be a matter of cutting out one half and they'll slide together. And then of course they'll be tabbed on all the other 4 edges, and they'll get support over here. So the half lap would probably be easier than 4 tabs, or we can do tabs. All right, after thinking a little bit about this, I'm going to use my trim tool, and I'm going to cut this off, and this off. Okay, I'm going to go over here to the other side and do this off, and this off, and this off, and this off. And then I'm going to cut just a hair off of the center, and we're going to cut that off and that off. Okay, so I've got 2 of these dividers, and they will nest. I'm just going to make 2 of them, and they're going to nest inside there. And it's going to cut that out. Let's turn that off there and zoom back in. So what I'm going to need to do is put the tabs around the inside, but that's the half lap part on that one. So these dividers, each one of these pieces, we'll cut 2 of them, and they're all identical. And since it's the same size, and they'll basically just, crisscross and go in there. So the next thing I need to do is put tabs around here and get it to where it's going to fit into my sides here. So let's go ahead and create some tabs on this one right here. And since it's identical, let's go ahead and file save as. And we're going to put it under, we're going to go, let's go all the way up here to the shark, or desktop. Go down to my shark settings. And this is a box, so we're going to hit BO. And it should come up to boxes. And we're going to create a new one. This one's called Sander Box. Sander's Box. And then we're going to go in here, and we're going to call this thing Sander's Box. Okay, so this file is now called Sander's Box. All right, we've got that part saved. So I was putting quite a bit of work on it. I believe in saving stuff, even though Aspire does a good job of keeping stuff together. I like putting the saving on there. Okay, so we got that. Now we need to put some tabs in here on this thing. So our box joints are 1 inch. So what do you say we put a 1 inch tab in there? So we're going to take a width of 1 inch and make it a 0.25. And then our slots will have to be a little bit different. And I'm just going to create one right here. Okay, close. So that's our slot. And we just need to decide how many we want to put in here. And probably 3 down there. Let's just put 2. Well, 3. That's 14 inches. So we could make that a little bit bigger. What do you say we make them 2 inches? Okay, let's change the size of that. Make that 2 inches. Hit enter. Click close. Let's make sure that we're capturing screens. And we are. So let's minimize that. Okay, so in this case here, we're going to get Control C, Control V, and then we're going to move this up to the top here. And of course, on these guys here, this goes to the outside edge. Now, keep in mind that this is on the outside of the box, and this goes to the inside of the box. So basically, what we're going to do is use this feature. And I watched a guy on YouTube, and I thought, man, he's got that nailed down here. So let's click Shift, and we're going to move that to, and move that to that edge right there. And that puts that evenly flush with that right there. And then we're going to center that. Well, we don't really want to center that just yet. Let's just see where we're at here. And since I've got 2 tabs in here, I'm going to make a box, a jig for that. And let's just go Control C. And we're just going to move that up here. And we're going to put this right here under, click on that one right there. And we're going to put that up there like that one. And that one like that. So that's going to be a jig. We can use that as a jig since we know where it's at. And we want to move this with arrow keys right on top of that jig. Okay, so then we'll just take this one here and we'll Control C, Control V it and move it over here. And we'll put it over there. Okay. And put it all the way over there. Okay. And so the height is the same. And once we got that one done, I'm going to put that one there. We're going to copy them both. Control C, Control V, and put them down Whoops. Okay. Grab that one. Hold that one. We got both of them. Control C, Control V. There we go. And we're going to put it down here on this edge right here. And put it down there so that we got a copy of those. Okay. So there's our 4 copies. These blocks here are going to disappear. So we're going to get rid of that one. Because we got that block in there. We're going to Control C. Well, I could, since they're the same size, I could actually put it on the same edge as that one. And we're going to put it on the right side edge of that there. So there's none of this lining with these buttons. And I was sitting there watching this guy do this, and I was going, hey, he's got a good idea. So I've got that pasted in there a couple of times. Let me go ahead and delete that. So, you know, that's good and that's good. Okay, while we're here, we can just cut that out of there. Cut that out of there. Close. Okay, so there's your tabs there. We're going to do the same thing down here. So we can click close, Control C, Control D. We're going to move this over to here. And we're going to line it to that right there. And go over to the line tools and, oops, I'll put it right here. Outside. Okay. And it should be right on the money. It is. So we're going to get rid of that guy right there. Hit delete. And you're going to go over here. Control C, Control V. Use the arrow key, move it over a little bit. Then tell it to align to that one right there. Hold the shift key. And we're going to align, oops, that one right there. So we got that lined up there. Click close for now. Click off of it. Grab that thing or hit delete on that one. Okay. Let's go ahead and use our trim tool. Go here and trim that out of there. Click close. Okay. Let's just say we're project. So we've got our two mirrored sides there. We're going to do the exact same thing with the block going this direction. Okay. And so yeah, there we go. So we're going to take this block right here. We're going to hit R for rotate and type in 90 and enter. So it's rotated there. Okay. Now, as we were sitting right there, we're going to Control C and do the same thing. And put a block here. Control C, Control V, put another block down over here. And the only reason I'm moving them down there is just so that I get my what I'm wanting done figured out. Okay, so there's that. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do it towards the inside top of that one. Okay, so we're good there. And then this one here, I'm going to grab that one, put that one on the inside bottom. Oops. Whoops. That's the one we want. Okay, there. Okay, and then this guy here, I need to Control C, close, Control C again, Control V, and it'll copy right in there. And Control C, Control, whoops. Oh, we got another paste, that's fine. I'll put that right in there. So we're going to line this with this piece here. And alignment tool. Put it on the top side of that one. Okay, that's good. And we're going to put this one on the top side of that one. And, oops. There we go. And that's good. Okay. Then we'll get rid of this block here, spatial block or jig block. And there you go. And then this guy here, he is just a, he's just a good old-fashioned all-American deal. Okay. So now we need to copy these two right here. Since they're the same, we can move them all the way over here. Since we know that they're right, and I can put click on that one and tell them to inside edge, and that lined them up to that point. I guess I need to read that, right? Okay. So now let's go back here and get our trim tool. And I must have a duplicate vector on there because I'm having to click twice on it. Okay. Click close, click file, save. And just to see if we got any duplicate vectors on here, I'm going to select vectors, all duplicate, new duplicate vectors in design. Okay, good. All right. So right here, we do need to cut that out of there. Let's get that out of there. Forgot all about, whoops. Edit, undo, trim. Nope. Edit, undo, trim. All right, let's go edit, undo, join vectors, edit, undo, trim vector. Edit, undo, trim vector. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right. Where's that guy coming from right there? Let's just hit delete. Where did that guy come from anyway? Let's go back up here before I get real rambunctious. And let's trim that vector out again. Okay. Now if I click on that, okay. So what we need to do is, okay. All right, got different parts in there. So let's just join all those vectors. And I'm shift right. Okay. Wonder why they didn't join. Okay, so right click, join closed vectors with a line. Right click, join closed vectors with a line. Okay, and let's see where we're at here. Right click, join click vectors with a line, and I'm probably doing this the hard way. But join click vectors with lots of line. We got one more to click. Okay, so that has got our tabs all done. So dividers are there. Let's go ahead and pull all that down here. And the dividers, we'll have to check to see where we're at on the toolpath. Let's just jump over here on our tiling toolpath and see where we're at. We don't want that being across the line. Okay, so there we are there. And we're going to just collect all that and bring it back up here. There. And, we can bring her over there a little bit. Okay. Let's move in here and get rid of that guy there. Okay. Whoops. Let's not get rid of him yet. We're going to need him some more. Of course, he's going to be bigger on the other tabs. So, all right. And I've done this exactly backwards of what I needed to do. Those should have been trimmed back inside. All right, I was just having such a good time. I forgot about where my tabs are supposed to be. So we're going to create a box. Fits right in. We know that's 14 inches. And our box will need to be 13.5. Okay, that's going to be our inside box, 13.5. And we're going to just create it right here. Okay, click close. We're going to center that on this box here. And there we go. Okay, so this is actually our tabs where we're at. And that's our inner box. And these will be our outer boxes. So if we trim these parts here on the outsides and then mirror them out, we'll probably be in pretty good shape. So let's go ahead and use our trim tool, and we're going to cut that. Whoops. Edit, undo, trim vector. And edit, undo, trim vector. Let's get in a little bit closer. Okay, we got rid of that one. Get rid of this one. That one. That one. Okay, that one. So those are right. And then I need to move these on the other sides of that. I can do that various ways. So we're going to leave those others on there for the sake of, let's get rid of that one right there. Yeah. I'm going to leave that one on there for right now. Okay. So we need these boxes to be moved up to that point there. And we can do this several ways. We can click Node Edit. Okay. Okay, we got that one there like that. And we could tell it to rotate 90. Hit enter. And 90 again. And so then it's right there. And then we could tell it to go on the outside of that one. Let's see here. We want it to be on the outside edge. So there we go there. Okay, so that worked. So let's hit. Okay, so we're going to cut that vector there just to get it out of the way. Zoom in. Cut that one, okay. Close that. And this is a separate vector now. So we're going to click rotate 90. I could put 180. Let's just put 180. And then apply. And we need to align it to that one right there. Close, align, outside edge. Okay. So that's good. That's the way to do that. So you don't have to watch everything I'm going to do here. I'm going to do that same process around here and get all of these lined up. All right, we got this vector ready to go. This is the insert that'll go into the the sides, the dividers, and they'll go into the ends. And now I need to configure my tabs for my ends here, and I'll generally just use the divider box as a jig where it'll sit on there, and I might use this as kind of a lineup on that kind of thing. So again, you go up here to dividers, you turn that off, and all the dividers don't show, they quit showing up. So that's good. Anyway, so that's set up. I went about that wrong. I should have just basically made the inside box and the outside box and then cut the vectors out. So I created myself some work. But anyway, they're there, and that's that. The verdict is out whether I needed another tab on there. Anyway, let's go ahead and take this and put these tabs in here in the bottom. And I've just been learning how to do this. We're going to Control C, Control V. We're going to move that down here, and we're going to center that in that one right there. So we'll center that right there. So that's got our tabs in there, and they're set up like so. Let's zoom in a little bit here and look at this on that. And of course, this is going to be the end walls, and they're going to be on that. So on your tab walls, The only ones that we need to work about on the centers, the ends, is the cutouts as far as where our spacings are. And then we'll need to put our tabs in, which on the tabs, the center, they're right there and there because they're going to go here and here. So there's going to need to be tabs here and there. And there's going to need to be tabs here and here, here and here, here and here, here and here. So whatever I do here, I'll duplicate. Since this is an odd size, it'll be about right in here. So anyway, so that's laid over the top of that. And this is the face view. So I've got my face frames that I've got to look at here. So they're going to get cut out to where they're just barely covering that. And I'll probably put like an inch or half-inch cover box over those so that they stay together, but they'll cover that up. So let me think about that. All right, just for the sake of clarity, I'm going to get rid of those two guys there. I'm going to create an inner box that is going to fit inside this box, which is 14. So it's going to be 13 inches by 13. That'll give us a 1 inch all around it. And we're going to create that right here. Click close. I'm going to center that on that. And click center, center. Okay, so there's our box there. Okay. And so there's our box there. That's what's going to be the opening there. And I need another 1 inch cross piece of box that's going to go down in here into the centers. So let's just create a box that's 6 by 6. Let's see here how big. Let's just click it 1 inch by 13 with this 1 inch. Height is 13. I'm going to click create. Excuse me. And we're going to center that on that one right there. Use the alignment tool of the inner edge. And there we go there. And we're going to tell it to center. Yeah, so that's centered. Okay. And then we're going to rotate this thing. Control C, Control V, and click at 90. Hit enter. Whoops. Okay. Rotate. Click 90 and hit enter. Okay, so we got the box there, and that's going to be that. So let's go ahead and clean that up. That's our dividers inside our box, and this will go all the way to that. So let's go ahead and clear that out, and then we'll fix the, okay, so there's this one here, that one there, that one there, so that'll all be solids. This will be out of there, that'll be out of there, that'll be out of there, and that'll be out of there, that'll be out of there. Or should have joined. Oops, I said I'd undo that. Okay, so we need that for the square. Not really. We just need those to go all the way outside there. So let me think about that. I need to extend all my vectors to that so that I can cut that end out of there, because those will all be joined. Let me go ahead and press Control Z to where I was just creating this, and I extended this and made this 14 inches. So I'm going to rotate that. I'm going to create a new copy of it. Control C, Control V, and then rotate. Hit R for rotate. Click 90. Hit enter. So I got two deals set up for that. Okay. And they cross. So now to clean out all this good stuff, I want this to be in the center. So let's get our trim tool. We want that one to be there, that one to be there. Looks like I got a double in here. And now this will trim to that point, like that. And that'll trim to that point. And then when I go in here to the zoom, I'll need to look at this. I got some double stuff going on here. Okay, does that look right? Yeah, that looks right. You know, this gets kind of confusing. I mean, that's when you look at it, it's you know, zoom in on that thing so it knows which one you want to cut. I've got some duplicate vectors in there too, so let's get rid of that line there, that line there. Zoom in on that one there, that one there. Okay, and then this guy here. All right, and this guy here. Okay, that's about right. I'm gonna got some duplicates in there I need to get rid of. Click close. I need to get rid of that one there. I'll delete. And that one there. Delete. I always go out and double check. Make sure you're not deleting something you don't want to delete. Okay. Alright. Now I've got, I think, a little bit of some stuff going right in here I need to probably identify. Let's see right here. Okay. Let's hit delete to get rid of that one. And that one didn't do it. Go over here and look at this one. Yeah, that's green. And there it is there. I hit delete on that one. And that one, we've got, what is that? Hit that one, get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. This one, okay, that's where they were at there. Okay, so yeah, so that worked out good. We'll click on that one. And there's our boxes. Those are all our cutouts, so they'll be pocketed in that. Now I need to put my tabs in here and get them to go. And they'll go right in here, and they'll go in a, you know, from this guy right here, when this one's turned up, this one will be sideways like that, and that one will be turned up like that way. So an easy way of doing that is just to simply copy that thing and drag it over there and line it up and cut it, or I can use the, you know, the little block that's 1 by or 1/4 by 2 inch to put it in there. So let me get that. I'm gonna go take a break. All right, I was thinking about this. Yes, I made a copy of this because this is incorrect, but yet I do need it for placing some tabs on the end part here. But I also need a part that fits on the 20-inch section. So anyway, so I took the vector of that, I went in Node Edit, and I cut my vectors in half. So I've got this part here, which is one part. I'm going to align it with that. I tried just using guidelines, but you can't align to a guideline that I know of. So we're going to hit shift there, and we're going to align that to the inside edge of the top, right there. And of course, this one's lined to the inside edges of there. And then all I need to do is to join my section. This one here is going to need to be dropped down to the halfway point. and make that. Yeah, so I'm going to have to get that right there. Go to no editing mode. Cut those vectors there. Cut vector. Cut vector. And then we'll extend them out to the center point of this box. So that was the end of it. We're going to put this into the center, which I'm going to make another box as far as it's going to be 10 inches long. We'll use it as a grid box. And close, and we'll center that on that one right there. And we'll center it to that. Oops. What'd I get? All right, let's try this again here. Okay, so there's this one here. I want to center it on that box. There we go. And we're going to center it that way. And then I want it to be even with, let's just say, outside edge of that box there. Inside edge of that box there. Let's see what that's it. Okay, that's it. So that's my center point there. So I need to bring this down here, and then I need to join all my lines. Okay, so we're going to need to cut that vector, or just create a probably easier just to create a rectangle and put it in there, and change that up just a little bit. So let's see here, which would be the easiest. Go node edit mode, cut that vector. Go node edit mode. There's that one. There's that one. Cut that vector. Okay. So I have these two right here, and we're just going to get out of node editing mode. We're going to draw these. Okay, first off, we're going to move that down to there. Put right there on that line. Okay. Just here past that line. That make it a little bit longer on both sides. Then we need to get these two here. Grab them. And try and pull them down to here. How can I do that? Let's group them. And grab them that way. And drag them down to this point here. Okay. I think we're tied in there. Let's make sure we're tied in up here at the top. Okay, so we're good there. We're good there. So we've got that fixed. All right, let's weld this all back together. And I'm going to get rid of that rectangle there. And we're going to close up our vectors. So if it joined them. No. Okay. All right. I need to close this vectors here. So very individual there. Let's grab them. I got two lines here. Oh, they're grouped. Okay, that's ungrouped. Okay, now we'll go there. Can't join vectors that are grouped. Okay, so we got them here. Right click, join, close vectors with a line. Okay, hold down the shift key. Join, close vectors with a line. This one here. Join, close vectors with a line. And this one here. Join, close vectors with a line. Okay. So we got that one fixed. And so that's looking pretty good. Now we need to get rid of that box there on the outside because we don't need that anymore. Now we need to join close these vectors with a line. And we'll do it again. Join close vectors with a line. Okay. So we got a nice solid vector again. I'm going to put a tab here in the middle because that's too far of a span. So we're going to, go there and put a tab right there in the middle of that one. And let's go ahead. All right, we're going to get rid of this stuff here. We don't need that anymore because we've got this set up. Okay, so we just got to creating that. Now I need to add a tab in here. In that. So let's go ahead and drag this line right up here to the center. And that should be about the center of our box. And of course, an easy way of doing that is to find out. All right, let's add another one of these into that center section or off to the side because they're flipped over. There'll be a steel in there, so we're going to put 2 here on each end. So let's create a rectangle. And they're going to be, again, width is 2 inches. Let's see. In this case, it's going to be width is going to be 0.25. And the height is 2 inches. Let's put it right there for right now. Okay, close. And then we want it to line up to that edge right there on the outside edge. We'll go up here and do outside edge there. Oh, that's kind of cool. Let's go here to there and tell it to go to the outside edge. Right there. There we go. Okay. All right. So we got that one done. And we want it to be about 1 inch. Well, let's just go on this one here. Just put it in the center, it'd be about right. I'll just put that in the center of the span. So we're going to go click there. Click there and here. And we're going to go center this way. All right. And close. Copy that. Control C, Control V. And we're going to have it aligned to that side there. Inside edge, outside edge. Oops. Yeah. Inside edge. There we go. Okay. So that's why because that little nook right there is kind of messing with me a little bit. Okay. Let's look at it and see how she's doing there. And it looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave that alone. Get rid of this line here. Let's see. I'm going to delete that guide. And just delete that guide as well. And delete that guide. Just keep it clean and simple. Okay. Now, we need to do the trim cutting tool. Got that trimmed out of there. Zoom in, trim that out of there. Okay. All right. Let's check for duplicates on this layout. And we're going to go select vectors, all duplicates. No duplicates found on the design. Okay, so that's good. All right. Okay, so we have our solid vector. It's ready to go. We can use this for lining up here. We can use it for lining up there. I just need to rotate it. It'll have all the tabs in the position. And so that'll work good. And for the first one, since this one's lined up right there, we're just going to copy it and move it around. Control C, Control V. I'm going to move it over here, and this one will line up with the center vectors on the end there. So it's just basically going to be right here in the centers. So we need to look at that. Okay, that's where it goes in the center. So if we go this box here, and then we tell it, click that one, and then click that one, and we tell this box here to go to the center of that one. So we'll click that, and click that one, and we'll line the center in the middle of it. Okay, so there's that. And we'll just have to look at this just to probably eyeball it pretty close. So there's that. Click close. And of course, I got rid of my center line when I really needed it. Okay, so I need to put let's just put a line in here in the middle. Put our square box back in there, and it is, let's click off of that. And I'm going to put a 14 by 0.3 slot. Okay, so we're going to put that right here, and we want it to be in the center of that item there. So we're going to click close, center, and center. So that, whoops, take that. Let's see where we're at here. Okay. So there's that. That's on the center of the box. So find our center here. Got too many things going on here. Let's get rid of that right now. So that's where this needs to go. Okay. And we got this center of this box, which is 14 by 14. And let's grab that one. Let's put this in the center of that box there. Okay. So we'll put it right there in the center, and that should be our slots. Okay, and let's get rid of, see this one here. We need to rotate this. Let's see here. Okay. Control C, Control V, rotate 90. Okay, so there's the center of our slots for the boards again. And the parts I deleted, there they are, right there where I needed them. So, yeah, okay. And then here are our slots configuration here. So we're going to move this thing down just a little bit, since it's not really right where it needs to be. And where did my little square go? My little 1 inch by, where did it go? Okay. Well, who knows where it went? So this guy here. Anyway, let's just draw another one. Close. And we're going to draw another box. And it's going to be 2 inches by 0.3 in height. I'll create that. Click close. Okay. And then that guy is going to plant right here. And we'll just position him into that position there. So, and he'll need to be right over the center of that. Okay. Make sure we get him positioned about right. Okay. And then we need Control C, Control V. We'll put another one over here on this side. And then we'll center it on that center line. And get it zoomed in there just about right. Okay. Looking good. Okay. Now we got those two positions in there. So let's go ahead and pull that and delete that right now. Okay. And then this box here, it's a big box, I think. Let's get rid of that one. Okay, that's the outside box. And let's put this one right here in the center of those. Up and down. And that one right there. That should put them right there in the center. Up and down. Oh, what happened? Edit, undo align objects. Okay, so we need to take that one there and that one there and group them. Hit G for group. And then grab that one right there for our center. And then try it. Okay, so that put it in the center mode in the right position. Okay, and I think we can probably Control C, Control and undo paste vectors. Okay, grab that one. Control C, Control V, rotate, R is 90, and enter, and we have those sets there as well. So I'm thinking we're good there. And an easy way of doing this, rotate this right here just to double check those vectors. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's get that one out of there. That one out of there. We'll group them and then move them off to the side. Okay, we'll get rid of our square. Get rid of that. And we should be good there. Okay, so that's our slots from these two pieces here. And the way to check that is just to sit there and grab that thing and just Control C and then bring it down here. Oops, let's go down. We'll bring it down there just to see if she fits. And it should. Zoom in on it. Okay. Good fit there. And then we're just going to rotate that. So we'll rotate it 90. We're going to apply it. And then we're going to move this over here and we'll check the other side of it. Click close on that. Grab that thing. Bring it over here and check this side. Make sure it all looks like it's going to work. Zoom in a little bit. Get up there and zoom in there. So yeah, we're looking good there. So that's pocket. That one's done. So we need to take this whole thing here and move it down here now. And put pockets straight up and down from, okay, so let's just grab this thing here. And all right, so these will be pocket in the center. Let's just go ahead and center it for real quick. And center it inside that. Okay, so there it is there. That's our sheet there. And now this needs to be brought straight down. Put close. Grab that one right there. Let's get off of it so we're not grabbing something we don't want to grab. I'm going to bring this down here, and we want to put some gauze down in there. Okay, so let's see what we got here. That's our slot. It's in the middle, so we don't really care about that. We just care about this guy here. And okay, that's lined up there. Let's see if we're lined up on the other side of it. Oops. So there we go there. Okay. And then I need to grab one of these guys here. And they should be that level there. So we'll hit copy. Whoops. Control C, Control V. Bring these down here because I'll need 2 of them. 3 of them. Okay. So right now I'm going to get rid of. Yeah, we'll just see. We'll keep that one there. That's because that's what we would want. Let's just bring this down to here. And center it right there on over that thing right there. Okay. Then we're going to ungroup that. I'll grab that thing and bring it over. Oops. I'll grab that one, bring it over. Okay. There's that one. This one here. Bring it over. Okay, that's good. And this guy right here, I need to bring him over and copy him. Control C, Control V. I'm going to copy him over here. And we'll zoom out and zoom in. Bring him over to right here. Okay. So those 3 were good. And then I could probably copy them over here to this other piece on the other side of it. I think I can. So I'm going to get rid of that one right there. think we can get rid of this. Oh, that one needs to be, that's the ends, these are the sides. That's the tops and the bottoms, so they're the same. So we'll hit click. We'll put these three together here and group them. Control C and grab them. Bring them down here, and we're going to center them. There. So we're going to center them inside this thing. Okay. Let's look at, see where we're at. Looking pretty good there. Looking good there. Looking good there. Okay, scrolling wheel's going good. So we're going to get rid of that guy there. And this guy right here. And we're going to save this. And see how we... Alright, I think we're doing pretty good on the setup of this. Let's look at our cutout tool paths. And there is our cutout for our dog bones. Let's look at this. And I'm going to tell it to cut to a 0.26. So it'll cut through that material. Using 1/8 inch ball nose, we're cutting on the tab. And that's the typical deal for the boxes. Okay, this guy right here, I'm going to have it, let's just get close. And this guy right here, we're going to create a new tool path. And we're going to call, it's 26, 2 vectors. We're going to cut outside. And we're going to see how that looks there. Click. We're going to call that cutout divider. Okay. So it's going to cut through the material. And we'll see what that looks like. Okay. Got that one done. And then we need to cut tabs. Let's see. This one here. These four here I need to cut on the sides. So let's create a profile cut. And we're going to cut on the inside. And we're going to want that one. Oops. We don't want that one. That one. Okay, so that's going to be our profile cuts. And this is going to cut out the inner boxes. Okay, calculate that one and that one. Okay, so that's got that done. Now all we have to do is to get all of our slots together. Okay, and our slots are all pretty much grouped, but we only got a few of them, so click close. All right, let's create pocket, and we're going to call this. Okay, let's go for inner slots. I'm going to hold down the shift key. And we'll do this one. Okay, that's that. And then that's that. And we're going to calculate, and we're going to call this slots. Okay, on this that it's going to cut out through, click calculate, and we're good to go there. So click close. Now that we've got all these put out here, I'll probably cut the slots first. So we're going to take this one here and move this up. And we'll do the cutout last. And let's see, the divider shelves, cut out inner boxes, divider shelf. Do that one, cut out inner boxes, and that one. So yeah. and then the cutout. So that's in the right order. So that all should go good. Let's go up here and do our calculate toolpaths and turn on toolpaths on and double check that we're lined up for it. And updating the tiles. Okay, we're going to recalculate everything. Make sure everything's looking good. Okay, so we're good. This one here, it's got toolpath, so we're just going to turn them off. Just make sure something happens on the screens. And there we go. Okay, so everything's looking good. I do need to just get rid of these two items right here. And click delete just to clean it up. And we're going to tell it to preview just to see if it all looks right. Preview all toolpaths. Okay, with this one here, you get a preview of each toolpath. You click preview, and then you get that one. You go down here, 3, preview all toolpaths, and you get what that one looks like. And then you go down here, up here, I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, there's no, yeah. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Anyway, there's our tabs. To get rid of all the outside stuff, you just double click that. If you want to see if your pockets are looking right, get rid of that. Get rid of that. All I'm doing is double clicking on it and just clean that up just to make sure everything's just right. And if you're curious, zoom in if it's not working right. Come in and zoom in. Okay. We'll go there. Then the last one is here. I want to look at that other one as far as, there we go. All right. So there's our 4 pieces. I was looking at the slot here, so they'll be good. And everything's looking really good. So yeah, looking good there. So we'll go here and click close. And we're going to save these toolpaths. And I'm going to highlight all of them. And I've got visible toolpaths 1 file. We're using all 1/8 inch min mills. So it's going to go through here and it's going to create these toolpaths. We're going to click save toolpaths. And I'm going to put this on a thumb drive. And we're going to call this Sander Box. Let's see if it's down here yet. Sander's Box. And we're going to, let's just get out here and let's do a save as first. Yeah. File save. And that puts it on the hard disk. File save as. I'm going to go down here and put it on the thumb drive. And there's thumb drive. We'll create a new folder. It's called Sander's Box. Okay, so there it is there. Create a folder. We'll put it on here and we're going to do a save there. Okay, so I've saved it in 2 places. Now we're going to save our toolpaths. And instead of putting it on desktop, I don't generally save my toolpaths on my desktop. I just save them on the thumb drive. And let's see, where's Sander's Box? There it is there. And we're going to save right here. And it's just going to put all of them down there and use the date on it. So we'll click save. And it created a toolpath for each one of the sheets with the information that it needed. So we'll go over here and we'll look at the thumb drive. And go down here to Sander's Box. And so there's your 4 pieces, and it has the toolpaths for them, all 4 of them, and it'll cut them out. And there's our major file. So we're ready to go out to the shop and cut these out. And thanks for watching. We're going to hide everything here and file, exit.